Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush, and today we're going to be doing some skeletons versus archers matches here to try and figure out which type of card is going to be more powerful. And the skeletons do have a number of things I think going for it, but the Archer Queen is actually it's a pretty powerful card in itself, and there's some other good ranged cards as well. Although we're mostly going to just be focusing on the archers, I think there's some ranged cards that if we included in here, such as the Phoenix or Dragon, those would definitely put the sort of more ranged deck in an advantage. But we were trying to focus more on the archers than anything. So this match, I happened to get in double mana speed and happened to be a pretty decent skeletons versus archers showdown. My opponent does have some skeletons too, but they certainly also had a lot of archers, and they do have a couple other cards, such as like there's a Valkyrie out there. But they do have a lot of archers, and they have an Archer Queen out there too. And this one was pretty sick just because we had like multiple necromancer stacks going at each other. Like they had 2 necromancers. I think I had 3 necromancers out there, it looks like. Pretty insane actually to get a match going like that. And then they were using Resurrection as well, so we both had Resurrection. It was just getting absolutely insane. And you can see they have so many archers, but the skeletons, especially with the number of Skull Queens I was putting out there, I have like at least 1, 2, 3 Skull Queens out there. I was multiplying the speed effect each time, and then I used Rage on top of that, which was insane. The skeletons, their speed and damage bonus were going so high. I pull out the win there, so I'd say that's probably 1-0 skeletons. At least skeletons versus archers. Of course, I do have the Skull Queen with the skeletons, which I think is a big advantage. I also think that the Spectre can be a pretty big advantage too. So it's not really a total head-to-head comparison. But I do think, especially with the Skull Queen, that the skeletons with Skull Queen is more powerful than archers with Archer Queen. I think especially if there's nothing blocking for the archers. But part of the problem with the necromancer is that it doesn't work well. If you want to put something to block for the archers, the necromancer brings it back at such low health that unless we're talking about a dragon, it's just not that useful against the skeletons, because they kind of just one hit. Like those dwarves, they're just getting one hit when they bring them back to life. So they're not really as useful as, you know, when all the skeletons get brought back to life at full health. Because, you know, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck with skeletons with Necromancer versus archers and dwarves with Necromancer. Since the dwarves are only coming back at a 3rd health, they're losing part of their value. And you can see here, this was a good stack matchup just in a friendly battle, but even here, the archers were getting beat back a fair bit. They were holding their own for longer than I thought, considering there's a Skull Queen out there. But that stack does finally get overrun, and that's pretty much the end of that one. So let's give it another shot here. And this may look a bit disorganized, but I was trying to set up the friendly matches kind of slowly to make sure that neither side would win too quickly, so I could get them like fully kind of set up. And yeah, the skeletons do normally have the advantage, so I was trying to see if I could get the archers more set up to start with. Alright, so I think we can finally start putting out the skeletons maybe now. Yeah, I guess we'll start with this and unload some skeletons on this. And you can see the archers are being affected there pretty heavily by the Archer Queen's ability. And this time, doing pretty well in the middle lane, especially for the archers. So I have to see if I can block that middle lane. I think I'm not realizing that the middle lane is such a big issue. I probably should have focused on it a bit more, because they are going to win. And I wasn't paying any attention, which is too bad, because that was actually a pretty good match. But it's hard to get a really fair comparison here. That match, the archer seems to do better once I had a double archer queen out there. I assume that stacks the ability again, kind of like the skull queen stacks. So, yeah, when I set up the archers a little bit heavier, they definitely did better. I think another thing to consider is that, especially for the necromancer lanes stacks, skeleton swarm has 5 skeletons versus archer tribe. You're only getting 2 archers in one lane, so the archers kind of add up more slowly than the skeletons do. And I think that also sort of works into why the archers keep kind of losing these matchups, because it takes longer to actually get them out there. If we had the exact same number of archers as skeletons, I think they'd be more competitive, but with only 2 archers per lane from each of these troop cards, there's just not, the firepower doesn't add up as quickly. So even with Archer Queen, I think also the speed bonus is very helpful in terms of actually winning a Necromancer matchup. So that works in the Skeleton's favor as well. But of course, with Necromancer stacks, all you have to do, of course, is add a Phoenix or a Dragon or anything that can take out the Skeletons, and that changes the game pretty quick. So here the Archers are going to win again, but you can see the actual Necromancer stack was definitely going in the Skeleton's favor. So one more go. Let's try it again. Although I think thus far it's been a pretty clear win for the Skeletons, unless I had the Archers very well set up in ahead of time. And part of what was even keeping the Archers in, for example, that last match, was literally just the fact that I had 2 Valkyries out there, which were covering the other lanes. I think it's more even until I start putting the Skull Queen out there. Once the Skull Queen goes down, that speed bonus seems to just really push the Archer's Necromancer stack backwards. They just kind of can't keep up with the amount of firepower. Well, they are here a little bit more just because of the Valkyrie, but the Valkyrie's kind of cheating, so maybe not the best comparison. I was trying to see if I could maybe even it out a little bit. But already the Skeletons in the other lanes are causing a lot of problems. Those 2 Archers alone in each lane, just not enough to really push back the Skeletons. The bottom lane is doing well, but I think it was mostly because of the Valkyrie. Because as you're going to see here, as soon as the Valkyrie got pushed back, now they're not really making any progress anymore. And yeah, it's looking like the Skeletons are just going to wear it down. Yeah, still pretty much going in favor of the Skeletons, even despite the fact that there's a Valkyrie out there. They're still pushing through. So I think that's pretty conclusive. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video, I guess. So leave a like if you enjoy. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments and what other types of content I should create. Maybe subscribe if you're new to the channel for more videos like this. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.